We're just going to go in the greenhouse for a little update. It's so cold outside that I quite frankly want to stay in here because it is much warmer. Temperature in here reading 18 degrees. It's unheated, so yeah, 18 degrees at the minute. Right, so on the right hand side here, there's lots of stuff in the cold frame and in the greenhouse. It's a bit of kind of plant hokey cokey at the minute. Some plants going in at night, some plants going out. But you know, the weather is pretty sharp today, so everything is just staying where it is for now. Cosmos, these are due to be pinched out soon, so by pinching out we'll take out the top part, so this will be pinched off, and then it will encourage a much more bushier growth because the lateral shoots will start to form, and then your plant will be bushier rather than sort of tall and too wispy. That's kind of a perfect size now for that to be done. It's nice and strong. It's a good sort of 4 or 5 inches high, so yeah, that's perfect. That'll be another video coming at some point. Then lots of things in pots. Nasturtiums, they're due to come up. I've got some French lavender there, French tarragon there, then more cosmos. Quite a lot of these pots. Generally, I try and do my stuff that I'm keeping in square pots, and then stuff that I sell out the front of the house in round pots, just the way I like it. I like a square plot. Ceranth, these are coming along. You can see all these lovely fresh new little leaves forming. Now these could go outside, but they are just sat there for a minute. Again, these are brassicas. They don't really mind being cool, but I kind of run out of room anyway. So I've got, well, there's some pak choi and some choy sum. And then over here I've got some broccoli, some Brussels sprouts and some kale. Then I've got some runner beans here. These haven't come up yet, they've just been sown. Lots of stuff here to be pricked out. You'll see how far behind I am. So I've got some dwarf kale, some Cavolo Nero kale that's just coming up. Flower wise, heliotropes, this is Nigella. Bergamot there, not too great on the germination front, but there's plenty there. Red cabbages, I've got some Rudbeckia, some Nicotania. This is one of my favourite flowers to grow. It's called Night Phlox. It smells incredible. It's like very, very simple kind of daisy-like flowers, but yeah, the smell is wonderful, and it kind of kicks out sort of that sort of early evening, early morning kind of time, and oh, it's just beautiful. So I grow quite a lot of that. That will just go in pots. Some runner beans, they are just starting to come through. You can see that. They were sown on the 10th. It's now the, oh, I don't know what date it is today. I think it's about the 15th today. Borlotti, they're coming. You can see the soil is starting to crack here, this compost in the pot. And then a load of tomatoes that are desperately needing to be potted up. You can see they're starting to fail a little bit, but these are to sell outside. Got lots of cherries and lots of plum tomatoes, and they'll all be split up and put into pots at some point. Got some geraniums. These are little propagated cuttings off my geraniums or pelargoniums that I have down here. They will go outside at some point, but they really don't tolerate cold very well. So I just popped some cuttings in, and they've all taken. You can see the extra root, the extra leaves that are growing there. Incidentally, some of these are flowering, which is really silly. So I'm going to take off all the flowers just to encourage some more. Can't do that with my left hand. Just to encourage some more growth, because otherwise it's going to concentrate on producing flowers all the time, and that's not what we want. I don't know why it's doing that. Very silly. Probably because it's been so hot in here and cold at night that they think that they've reached the time they need to flower. And then on this bed here, this was the hotbed. It's now heated at night if it gets really cold, but otherwise there's plenty of warmth in the greenhouse as it is. So I've got some Echinacea pallida, and then up the top there, those two sort of pots here, multi-sown basil, zinnias, cornflowers, cucumbers. These are all sunflowers of various different types. They're all popping. I've got some courgettes here. This one's called Black Beauty. cucumbers. I've got crystal lemon this year, and market more, just a standard, very prolific usual green cucumber. This crystal lemon actually is really nice. It's also called apple cucumber, and it's round, kind of varying sort of lime green to yellow colour, and it's really very tasty. I've got some tomatoes coming up, late ones. This is rose de burn, one of my favourites. A couple more rose de burns there. Echinops, that hasn't actually germinated yet. It's been there for ages, but you can just see where my finger is. Little, let me see if I can zoom in. Ooh, hello. There we go. Something's just happening there. So things are starting to move. This tray, there's bigger cells here, and these are for the squashes. So you can see they've gone mental already. They need potting on desperately. There's 2 in each module, so yeah, they need to move, but obviously time. And then over here is a whole mix of aubergines and cucumbers, aubergines and chilies, and sweet peppers. So these are all sown mid-Feb, and they're coming along nicely. So no extra heat now. I didn't use any grow lights, but just heat at night. If it feels like it's going to frost, I'll just stick the thermostat on and just give them a temperature of about 20 degrees just to keep them nice and toasty. But there's lots there. I do love them, so I'll probably grow all the chili peppers in pots and put them around the garden, and then bring them in if it gets cold or too windy. The sweet peppers, aubergines, actually the aubergines will go outside as well in pots, and the sweet peppers will be grown inside in the beds I've got here, and they will go alongside these beauties. So these are all my tomatoes. They were sown at the beginning of March, I think. I'm trying to find a date for one of them actually. Pretty sure I sowed them at the beginning of March. And yeah, they're coming along really well. They've been off heat for ages. Once they've germinated and they're kind of strong growing, then they don't need any heat at all, but they do need frost protection, so that's why they're still here. A lot of those will go outside, but mainly you can see, if I just pan round, I've got 2 beds on either side of this path down the middle, and they'll both be full of tomatoes at some point. And then here I've got small plants to sell out the front, so cornflowers, Honesty, black and blue cornflowers, which I love the black ones. There's also some, I think there's some pink ones as well, which are really pretty. And then just sort of a bit of a mess down here, but this alyssum, which you probably would have seen on my Instagram, is self-seeded from last year and is loving life at the minute. It smells unbelievable. It's such a sweet smell, like kind of vanilla-y. Oh, it's really gorgeous. I think that one's called Scented Carpet, obvious reasons. And then this little dark one down here, which is super, super pretty. If I can zoom in, there we go. Look at that. You know, it's only about 5 to 10 centimetres high, but it is beautifully smelling. This one's called Arabian Nights. Absolutely love it. And to be honest, with the beds here, you can, well, I don't know if you can see, it's slightly, so I've got the bed here, which is about, I don't know, 4 foot wide, and then it dips down to the pathway here. It always gets super dry along this front bit, so I don't really mind that the alyssum has kind of formed a bit of a bank there. It will save on soil erosion when I water, and you know, if I can put as many flowers as I can into the greenhouse, the more insects will come in, the more the things will get pollinated. So yeah, I'm all for growing stuff in here as well, you know, not just veggies. I'm just going to go and take you to the cold frame. Outside you can see from garlic there. I've got some chard. I've got my wigwams up for my beans, but they're not going to be going out yet, obviously. I've got peas there in the drain pipes. There'll be a video of me putting them into a trench. So the idea is that you sow them into a drain pipe like this. It's an old piece of guttering. And then all the roots will map together underneath. And you can kind of push it from, let me see if I can, you can push it from one end there. You can kind of give it a good shove and it will all tumble into a trench in like a really, well, supposedly fluid motion. But yeah, that's the idea anyway. Obviously you can sow them directly, but I just think that's quite fun, quite a nice way to sow. They were kept inside for a while they germinated, and now they're out. Last remains of the purple sprouting broccoli. That's still kicking out so many little florets, which is lovely. Tastes amazing as well. And then there's some beetroot that's been direct sown, and I had terrible trouble with slugs, so there's kind of remnants of lettuces. There's some celery and some more chard at the back over there. So it's getting there, but the weather has obviously had an impact. Broad beans are here, they're growing nicely, and then at the back I've got a whole bed full of limnanthes, which is the poached egg plant. So this area soon will be absolutely covered in bees and hoverflies. Hoverflies love the poached egg plant. It looks exactly like a poached egg, so it's white on the outside, yellow on the inside, and yeah, it brings all sorts of insects. And I've actually put a couple of clematis there now. Now they're not planted in the ground because generally this section here is really rubbish through the summer. It gets very dry, so they're just put there for the minute, but hopefully they'll produce some nice flowers at some point. This is my cold frame. Just see if I can pop the lid back. So a handmade cold frame, this one, from bits of scaffold planks, and my father-in-law made the panes. It's just with plastic sheeting, but it's really good. It's perfect for this kind of thing. So in here are things that don't take kindly to being boiled in the sunshine, because that greenhouse gets super hot really quickly. So we've got lettuces in modules still, and some to prick out there. Some celery, which you saw out in the back there. There's still some bits there, and some celeriac, and then various bits and pieces. A whole bundle of leeks you can see just in that pot there. They need to be separated out, and then behind them is a whole load of echinacea, and I've got some more cornflowers here and some more brassicas. So yeah, this is utilised quite a lot, but I've got the lid down today because it's absolutely making my fingers freeze. And then this little ghostly thing here is my carrots. So under this fleece, I don't know if we can see. Yeah, you can just make out the carrots there starting to germinate. There's a good few rows of them there. I'm quite pleased that they've actually done anything because it's been so cold. Yeah, so that's it. So I'll do another video in a few weeks when I've got some time, just to show you how things are going along. But yeah, it's all looking quite exciting, especially when the weather's like this.